4 years.
5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
5 years, 9 months.
3 years.
18 years.
18 years. 3 years.
3 years.
You always seem to cross confrontation in the life we lead. Whether it's inside or out, there's always going to be confrontation there for you to deal with, and that's how you have to survive. So sometimes you have to be a bit scary to keep people not to cross that line. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, if you cross that line and people start taking the piss out of you, your life would be a misery in here. No, my first criminal offence that I went to court for was having possession of amphetamines. When my mum thought she was doing the right thing and she phoned the police. I came back from a party and I left a wrap of speed on the chair and my brother found it, and my brother was only a baby. So to leave that there was dangerous, and she went mad. And before she didn't even wake me up, she just went to the phone box and phoned the police, thinking it would scare me. She was, distraught with my behaviour and couldn't control me, really. And she thought this would scare me into thinking, but she didn't think I'd go to prison, not in a million years. She came to court with me. She dressed me all up in a suit and a blouse. I'll never forget it, and a nice coat and everything, and I looked like a proper lady, And she came with me and everything and supported me, and then she couldn't believe it that I got sent to prison. I got sent to prison at 15 years of age for first offence. The judge said, "I'm setting an example of you, Miss Lynn, and I'm sending you to youth custody for a period of 4 months."
How old are you now?
35.
So from 15 to 35?
Yeah.
How much time have you spent in prison?
Most of it. The majority of it. I think I've spent 1 full year out and then a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Either way, where I've lasted outside. Here comes a mufti squad to scissor off my clothes. Here comes a goon squad with a stun gun and a hose. They'll put me in an arm lock and they'll trigger back my thumbs. They'll pull my fingernails out, but they're bitten to the stump. I thought diazepam were a little jelly sweet. I thought that diazepam were at the dinner treats. Here comes Scary Mary. Someone hit the fire alarm. She's only cut her throat and slashed the barcode in her arm. She went up in a ball of flames inside a padded cell. But we were drinking tea and couldn't hear the panic bell. I thought a prison was a fancy second home. I thought a banquet was a bucket full of bones. And I'm oh so very sorry that I spat my blood at you. And I'm oh so very sorry that I spit your head in two. See, I was 15 when it happened. I didn't even bleed, but I'm still down there, down on Mary Street. When I was 15, I did something that I'd rather not talk about. And I got into a situation with people and I had a lot of money. And I did tell my mother at first that I was robbing cars to get the money, because she wondered where all the money was coming from. And I told her I was robbing cars, cassette radios and things like that. And which is believable from where we live, and, because everybody does it. I was sniffing glue and everything. As a child, I was bad. I smoked cannabis when I was 12. And then I had cocaine and heroin when I was 15. I was in an environment after I got mixed up in that kind of life, the drugs, with the prostitutions and all that, yeah. I didn't feel safe. One time I went to London, right, and I ran away. And I went with this guy and to his flat, and he tied me up and he gagged me and he kept me there for 3 days. Yeah, and he abused me badly. And then I went to the police after, and they says, you're lucky to be alive, Miss Lynn, because the man is only out of Broadmoor on trial for murder. And I've had many men, I've been raped about 5 times, at least. So that kind of thing, and even by friends, I've been abused, do you know what I mean? Like that. You go for a smoke with crack. You go for a smoke of crack with someone and you're in a house and the man, he gets carried away because he wants thingy, sex and that, and he just rapes you. It batters you.
Here comes some punter in his scranky new car. Here comes a vast new jar, no weightlifting bar. A thing like that could leave a woman tattered and torn. You're screwing with my baby and it isn't even born. I thought a national park was a prison yard. I thought a flick knot was a cash point card. And I'm oh so very sorry that I hissed at you. And I'm oh so very sorry that I threw my piss at you. See, I was 15 when it happened, I didn't even bleed. But I'm still down there, down on Mary Street.
I'm in here for robbery. 3 robberies, is it? 2 in the same day. But I committed the crimes on purpose so I could come back to prison.
Why?
Because I just done 10.5 years, and after doing 10.5 years and going back out onto the streets, I didn't like it. I didn't feel comfortable, and then I bumped into someone that I knew from way back in the old days and got back into the crack, straight back into it. Started smoking crack again, started having realised even before I went to prison, the life on crack was bad enough, but the way people was, they would kill each other out there for this crack now, and it was so dangerous. And I felt like I'd either die or I'd kill someone.
Don't give her back alive, she wouldn't know what to do. Don't send her back outside, she wouldn't have a clue. Don't leave the door ajar, she's better off inside. Don't say I said so, but that's absolutely right. And I'm oh so very sorry that I trust this place. And I'm oh so very sorry that I'm always in your face. See, I was 15 when it happened, I didn't even bleed. But I'm still down there, down on Mary Street. Yeah, I'm still down there, down on Mary Street.
Where, blood?
I'm still down there.
Where?
Down on fucking Mary Street.
Oh yeah, blood.
Yes, I'm still down there, still on fucking Mary Street.
I was actually born in London, and I lived in London for the first couple of years of my life. Then we moved to Carshorten in Surrey. And then when I was 5.5, we moved down to Arundel in West Sussex, where I was brought up. I went up to London in 1985, and that's where I met my husband. We met in the July, started going out in the August, and got married in the December. And then our first child was born the next January. We started off, we bought a little one-bedroom flat, and then we moved to a 3-bedroomed house, and our daughter was born there, and then later the other one. And of course that's when we started having the problems. We lived there happily for 3 years with lovely neighbours either side, and then this problem family moved in opposite, and that was in the summer of 1991, and then everything started going wrong from that moment.
A lot of women turn prison bent when they're in prison. They're not really gay. A lot of women just do it for the comfort because they need it. They need that security, that loving while they're locked away, when they feel like they've lost everything else. And then there's somebody there to comfort them, I suppose. Or they just might be slags who just need to have sex in prison because that's the way they are.
I won't yam no front. Why not? Because it's fucking nasty. It is nasty. I'm not yamming front. Try no.
Why is it nasty? How's it nasty?
Do you like yamming it?
Yeah.
You like yamming front?
Yeah.
That's you, innit?
There's nothing wrong in it.
What about you, Sully?
No, don't even bring me into this conversation.
No, Sully,
are
don't
the
try
one
it.
that
You,
we are.
yes, don't try it.
Sorry,
Do I have a bitch in here?
Huh?
Do I have a bitch in here?
No.
All right then. That's all I've got to say.
So you don't like your front being yam then? You do, but by a geezer.
Yeah. I'm not being funny, but what can a next bird do for me? What I can't already do for myself? I already
Suck
got...
your own pussy, darling.
Yeah. What's that on the scary movie, The Geezer? Like?
Here is a painting, who dares look? A broken lock, a turned over flat, a favorite dog with his head sliced off. Here is a painting, who dares look? Here is a picture, here is a print. Mother framed in a door with a bag to take the rubbish out and never come back. Here is a picture, here is a print. Left, yeah. She said she was going out to work and she had a black bag with her and said she was taking out the rubbish on her way to work. And normally we'd go to bed and she'd be there when we wake up in the morning. She just didn't come back. He's a big man, my dad was. He used to beat her up. I mean, she had scars all over her face where thrown a fork in her face and dinner plates, whatever, beat her up. One time he raped her there in front of us. Told us we wasn't allowed to look, we weren't allowed to help her, and we weren't allowed to leave the room. We had to just sit there and look at the telly. While she was screaming and crying behind us. He was just very sick. I just remember always being scared when he's coming in, or because you could hear him, he was drunk. Or a bit when he'd come in early, just praying that he'd go sleep. As soon as he started drinking, then I'd get frightened, and then it just got worse from there. I was sexually abused. She caught him one time, just before she left. Because I'd passed out, and I remember her picking me up, and shouting at him, asking him what he'd done. And she was opening my legs, checking inside. Probably see if he'd come, innit? Know that now, but yeah. Told me to go to the toilet. But when I asked her about it, she said she didn't remember. This. I remember he just used to say if I didn't shut up, he would do it to my sisters. And it wasn't a choice anyway.
He's just saying to me, shut up, as I do it to them as well. It wasn't me or them. It was, so like, yeah, you just had to be quiet. Because I didn't want them. But my sisters and brothers, they didn't know that was happening to me. And so whenever my nan come, I would go off with her, and they all thought I was being spoiled and that I didn't go to school because I was being spoiled, because my dad would take me to the pub with him and whatever, because they didn't know what was happening. So as I grew up, we didn't get on. They didn't like me either. So it was quite hard. But all I was doing was protecting them, but they didn't know that.
So ask me again what I'm doing here. My brother's bleeding, my husband's on fire. In the background, a shadow stands. I make my art with my father's hands. Here is an image, a masterpiece. A husband's fist, a Picasso face. My sister pushing it back into place. Here is an image, a masterpiece.
I've got 3 boys. The first one, I was pregnant with him and I was about 20, and his dad said he was 21 and I was 20, and when I was about 4 months pregnant, he decided he wasn't ready. He was mucking me about, telling me he wasn't, and I ended up stabbing him, but yeah, and then he found out after that he was only 15, so yeah. The second dad was just a one-night stand, and I wanted the baby. Thought it's good looking enough, the baby would be good looking enough, that's fine. And the third one, I was with his dad for a while, a couple of years, but he was very violent.
Very violent to you?
Yeah. And I left him and went up to Manchester with the children, and then he come up and said he wouldn't be violent no more. And one night when I was out, I come back and my oldest son had a black eye, and he reckoned he didn't do it. So I said, well, if he didn't do it, I'll take him to school, hoping that the social services or police would help me to get rid of him. And instead they took the kids and said I failed to protect. Because I wasn't looked after as a child properly, and I wasn't protected, they think I don't know how to protect. Which they're probably right, else I wouldn't have ended up in prison, would I?
Here is a likeness, here is a sign. The oil well eyes of the crying bride, features smeared with mascara and tears. Here is a likeness, here is a sign.
I met my husband, yeah, in a hotel in Belgium. I was working there, I started working there as a chambermaid. And he asked me out, and I thought, why not? I could do a lot worse, and it would help get my kids back. I knew I shouldn't have got married though, because even on my wedding night I was sat in the corner crying, and it just didn't feel right. So I decided anyway, get on with it. So we bought a house together and everything. And when the social services said the kids couldn't come and live with me, I thought I'd wasted my time. I'd got married, I'd bought my own house, and what for? So I sold it and went to Spain and bought a cafe on the beach, pub, where he started drinking a lot. And he was just getting violent. So he broke my wrist, he threw me through the window. He made my head crazy. So I went into hospital to get help, and I come out of hospital because he made me feel guilty that I wasn't looking after him and crap like that. I had a bit of a party, and my brother caught me on the bed with his girlfriend. He was trying to say to me I'm out of order and whatever, and because it was a party and there's people in the house, I wasn't listening. So he took a knife, and chopping knife, and put it up against my throat. And I didn't really notice him put the knife there. I've just seen a knife at my throat, so I've grabbed the knife and stabbed him. So the police arrested me and put me into a hospital. And a week later, my husband came and collected me and said that he would take me to the house to pick up some clothes because I didn't have any, as I'd been in the hospital straight from the police station. When I got there, he said that he wanted to have sex with me and he wasn't taking me back to the hospital unless we had sex. So he laid on the bed pretending that he was sleeping or waiting for sex or whatever. And I went downstairs, put a pile of clothes on the floor and set him a light and walked out and shut the door.
So ask me again what I'm doing here. My brother's bleeding, my husband's on fire. In the background a shadow stands. I make my art with my father's hands.
I think because they realised that he was mentally abusing me, as I wouldn't have been in and out of hospital all the time. And also that it wasn't him that was not well, because when I got arrested and he realised I wasn't coming back out to him, he hung himself.
Here is an abstract, here is a scene. Picture of me in a kind of a shrine, surrounds a man with his neck on the line. Here is an abstract, here is a scene. So ask me again what I'm doing here. My brother's bleeding, my husband's on fire. In the background a shadow stands. I make my art with my father's hands.
It started with noise, a very loud all-night party that woke up the whole of the end of our street, plus the street behind, and it went on all night till about 7 in the morning, really, really loud, more like one of these raves. And then after that there was continual loud noise, day, night, and they started coming out in the summer nearly every night onto the street, getting drunk. Sometimes they were so drunk they couldn't stand up, and they were getting into fights, and there was a lot of shouting and swearing. We had 6 years of hell. We thought it was a London problem, so we sold and we moved back to West Sussex, Littlehampton, near where I'd been brought up, thinking we'd be safe, and it started again.
Only our feet. Yeah, why? Why what?
All the drug smugglers are in for men. I'm telling you that now. None of these have done it off their own back. They've been donkeys, mules for men, and some of them don't even realise and think they're big gangsters and all that, right? And they don't even realise that they've been come through with 2 kilos and someone else has come through with 15, and they've been grassed up to be stopped while the other person gets through with the 15 key.
All aboard the mule train. All aboard the mule train.
So a man I met say, honey, you can make easy money, but my husband say no. So I tell him it's 'cause you be a man, not a pussy, I will give it a go. So we left the Channel Tunnel, but we ran into trouble down the Waterloo. 'Cause they're calling back my darling, and there's now a K of Charlie in the training shoe.
You can mule it in a boat, you can mule it in your car, you can mule it on a plane, you can mule it on a train, you can mule it over land, you can mule it in your hand, you can mule it in your car, you can mule it in your bra, you can mule it in your boots, you can mule it in your shoes, you can mule it in your gut, you can mule it in your butt, you can mule it in a sack, you can mule it in the back, you can mule it in the front, you can mule it in your
And now 8-year sentence.
Your husband is in prison as well?
My husband is in Camp Hill. He's not happy. He's very upset. I lose a lot of weight, and I say to everybody, all what's happened is my fault. I love very much my husband. I hope so. We come back and we go free, and I hope so I don't lose him. So, I'm a very stupid, stupid woman.
There's something in your luggage, unless I'm very much mistaken. Her Majesty's prison is your final destination.
She was studying her papers, she was working as a waitress up in Amsterdam. So we're happy, little sister, when we meet some dodgy misters with a master plan. We're not news, we were fools, we agreed to take some jewels by London town. They were told that he was lying, she was laughing, I was crying when they sent us down.
You can mule it in a boat, you can mule it in your coat, you can mule it on a plane, you can mule it on a train, you can mule it over land, you can mule it in your hand, you can mule it in your car, you can mule it in your bra, you can mule it in your boots, you can mule it in your shoes, you can mule it in your gut, you can mule it in your butt, you can mule it in a sack, you can mule it in the back, you can mule it in the front, you can mule it in your...
We've both been caught with ecstasy. We had 2 packets each in our suitcase, and we didn't know that we was transporting drugs. We thought it was something else. And when the custom arrested us and told us it was carrying drugs, we couldn't believe it.
I will never forget when the judge gave us our sentence. He said to us, I take in consideration that you are young, I take in consideration that you are foreign national, I take in consideration that Celine is sick for all her life and your parents is living far, so I give you only 18 years. And I remember that my interpreter was next to me and she said, oh, 18 months. I said, I don't think so. I think I hear 18 years. And I remember the judge said, I said only 18 years. And I said, you say 18 years?
There's something in your luggage, unless I'm very much mistaken. Her Majesty's prison is your final destination.
So I was over in Jamaica with my mother in the summer when the telephone rings. And the gunman came and take me and they laid me down and made me do some terrible things. When the nigger put his trigger in my mouth and caught the trigger, you don't shake your head. So you carry out the mission and you finish up in prison or you wake up dead.
You can mule it in a boat, you can mule it in your coat, you can mule it on a plane, you can mule it on a train, you can mule it over land, you can mule it in your hand, you can mule it in your car, you can mule it in your bra, you can mule it in your boots, you can mule it in your shoes, you can mule it in your gut, you can mule it in your butt, you can mule it in a sack, you can mule it in the back, you can mule it in the front, you can mule it in your...
I went to Jamaica to see my mom, and she was very sick. While I was in Jamaica, I was approached by a man about smuggling for him. I turned him down. Because I said no, they wanted to teach me a lesson. These 4 guys came up to me, pulled out their guns, and demanded me to follow them. Of course, I love my life, and I wanted to live, so I went with them. It was the worst thing I could have ever done, you know. They did the most unspeakable things to me. Things that I had nightmares about for a very long time. They raped me and they beat me, put the gun in my mouth and say disgusting things like sucking it. It gives me a phobia about men. Believe me, a serious, serious phobia about them.
And before to come in prison, you know, you always pass front of the prison and you never think about people who are inside, and you think that it's only rapist, murderer who are in prison. And when you are inside, you realize that it's not only bad people inside, but I think some people are outside and are worse than some people inside.
In a traveller's life, if your husband hits you, it's not a bad thing. Well, I didn't think it was a bad thing. I've seen Mommy getting hit and I've seen other travellers getting hit. So I didn't think it was no big deal. I thought I was a woman. I thought I was like, yeah, he loves me. He must love me like if he's hitting me because he cares for me.
Oh, her husband was a drinker and a traveling man. Never once raised his fist, but he'd lift up whatever was nearest to hand and shower his lady with gifts. Oh, her husband was a drinker and a traveling man. His lady would often see stars. You swear the love of his life off her feet for singing a song from their heart. So carry her far from the family grave, scatter her ashes all over the plain. She'd rather be belong to the ends of the earth and die with her menfolk again.
I was 3 months married when I had my first child. And then I had a child every year. I had 4 children by the age of 22. He was hitting me throughout all the pregnancies. My husband stabbed me in front of the children. And we went back to Ireland on a holiday, and I was chatting at the fire to my cousin and his wife and another man and woman, and my husband got bad-minded because I was chatting a bit too much, I think, probably. I don't know. And he told me to go to bed. My husband wanted me to go to bed. I wouldn't go to bed for him. So he hit me with a full bottle of Budweiser in the face. I got 20 stitches there. I've this scar on my hand from... He had me on the floor and he had his foot on my neck and he was pulling me hair, trying to break my neck. And he ran to the kitchen to get a knife out of the drawer, to stab me with it, and I put my hand through the big window just for someone to save me, because his mother was in the next caravan, heard me screaming, but she turned up the music. She didn't want to know. He ran to the kitchen, took the knife out of the drawer and stuck it in my head. So I ended up in the hospital I had to get my head glued together.
Carry her far from the family grave, scatter her ashes all over the plain. She'd rather be belong to the ends of the earth and lie with her menfolk again. Once with a blade in the back of the head, once in the face with a bottle of red, once in the ribs with a table leg, and once in the dark in a bedroom in bed.
My daddy used to start arguments with Mummy, so his Mummy wouldn't argue with him over drinking. Mummy'd be asleep, and he'd be arguing with her when she was asleep, and hitting her when she's like pulling her out of bed, and he was bad to Mummy, my daddy was. I didn't realise first because I was very fond of my daddy. I loved my daddy, and I loved Mummy as well, of course, but I never seen the badness in my daddy because I loved him so much, and I thought it was just marriage. That's the way it is. I don't talk to my daddy whatsoever now. Can't stand him, don't want to talk to him, don't want to know nothing about him. He done me a bad wrong. I know why he done it, because I was on drugs. And because I'm classed in our family, I'm the idiot in the family. I'm the harmless idiot in the family. So he thought he'd get away with it. But he didn't get away with it with me. Because I told a lot of people what he'd done anyway. And I couldn't care less about him now.
Oh, her daddy was a drinker and a traveling man who taught the world of his girl. So he slugged her and drugged her and tucked her in tightly and fucked her up once and for all. So carry her far from the family grave, scatter her ashes, fall over the plain. She'd rather be belong to the ends of the earth and lie with her menfolk again.
If you wanna get down, you can call me. Don't be scared, down my number, won't you? Let's get it cracking right now. You can call me. Don't keep me waiting, load the baby, down my number, yeah.
I'll just rub my nipples
And what do you get from that? That's not the same
and
as...
put my pillow between my legs. That's about it.
It's fine, you can't have a conversation with her. What do you do? Yeah, it's all about playing with the bean, innit?
What's the bean?
You flick the bean.
Tell me what's the bean.
That's the bean, lad.
Oh, the bean.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was about 9, probably. It was me, my brother and my sister. We went to Wembley Market. My brother wanted this Arsenal t-shirt. So my sister was like, just nick it, just nick it. And my brother, because he wanted it so badly, I love my brother to bits, you know what I mean? There's only 30 months difference between us. So I said, all right then. So I nicked the t-shirt and off we went home, and he was well chuffed that he got the Arsenal t-shirt. We got home, me and him got into an argument, I think over the remote control or something silly like that. And he said, Mum, they didn't buy the t-shirt for me, Claire nicked it. And my mum came out and gave me a slap for it. And I said, oh, I can't believe you grassed me up. So that's how it sort of started, a little thieving and that. But I'd say most kids did it anyway, like go to the shop and you always want to, even though it's there, you just want to nick a few things anyway, even though you've got money in your pocket. Alright, now rewind. I'm no angel, I've been unstable and unable and involved in bust-ups, dust-ups. I had my fair share of flare-ups and tear-ups. It starts with my brother, a gunner. I swiped to my shirt and then did a runner. I got a slap from my birth mother. But one thing leads to another. When your dad's boozing and losing the plot and pissing a lot down the toilet. So you start to go thieving, ducking and weaving and robbing. Till there's no way of stopping, till it's just like shopping. But here's a lowdown.
This is Downview, it ain't a showdown, it's a slowdown. There's a fountain, there's a garden, get a hairdo, buy a perfume, get an ensuite bathroom, have a vacation, get an education, avoid temptation, drop a few pills, pay no bills, go to the gym, keep it trim, learn decorating, keep on medicating, don't keep the block down, they put you on lockdown. Stop fighting, get no red writing, be ordinary. Alright, rewind. I got into debit, I went into finance and credit. I did the plastic, the scam was fantastic. I did the Visa, bought my Mex. I keep getting flashbacks of £50 cashbacks. I got all my thrills from Charlie and Pills. I did the ease and the speed. At weekends I went raving, off my nut misbehaving. Now don't get me going on JD or Stella. I fight like a fella, I fight like an urban gorilla. But here's a lowdown. This is Downview, it ain't a showdown, it's a slowdown. There's a fountain, there's a garden, get a hairdo, buy a perfume. Get an ensuite bathroom, have a vacation, get an education, avoid temptation, drop a few pills, pay no bills, go to the gym, keep it trim, learn decorating, keep on medicating, don't keep the block down, they put you on lockdown, stop fighting, get no red writing, be ordinary.
I like pills when I go raving, but I've been known to take them in the pub anyway, just to get off me nut, twisted in the corner like. But yeah, they're good. I like Charlie. Just sniff until your nose goes red and you can't take no more. Then you start smoking it in a spliff. Not weed and that. I do smoke it, but I get very paranoid and I'm like, oh, what are you looking at me for? Because my eyes are all red and that. But I'm more of a drinker than anything. I just can't control myself sometimes. It only takes one person just to get on your nerves. I've done silly things like I was dancing and some geezer pushed me and without thinking, I just turned around and put the glass in his face. Just because I weren't thinking, I'd had a few to drink and just a first reaction sort of thing. But I've always been, I don't know, I just like fighting. I don't know. All right, rewind. I worked as a dental nurse. After a while, I was a mental case. All that rinsing and spitting, all the bad breath bored me to death. Never want to see another incisor. Drop of saliva. Got offered a job, $5 cash in hand. Bringing coke over. We're not talking Pepsi or Diet Cola. But where was the suitcase? Touchdown, got strip search. Fell at the final hurdle.
Put on my glove, bend over the table.
I'll save you the trouble, love. It's here in my girdle. I should have crutched it, but then I would have bodged it. Now that's my story and I'm doing my time. I'm staying inside the yellow line. I'm keeping my head down, avoid shakedown, avoiding a nervous breakdown. Keep myself to myself for the sake of my health.
But here's the lowdown. This is Downview, it ain't a showdown, it's a slowdown. There's a fountain, there's a garden. Get a hairdo, buy perfume. Get an ensuite bathroom, have a vacation, get an education, avoid temptation, drop a few pills, pay no bills, go to the gym, keep it trim, learn decorating, keep on medicating, don't keep them locked down, they put you on lockdown. Stop fighting, get no red writing, just be ordinary.
Oh shit, sorry.
Then a noisy young couple and a teenage daughter moved in, and for about the first 3 days it was all right, and then they started playing very, very loud music in the day. I could hear it in every room in my house. I couldn't hear my own television with the volume right up. I didn't like going in the garden. And I thought, oh no, not another family, not after all this time. My husband did actually go round a couple of times and ask them if they could turn the volume of the music down. And they did, and they weren't too bad. I mean, Nikki and her partner weren't actually too bad then. And it was the third time, when it was the daughter, that we really had some problems because she refused to turn it down, said that she'd turn it up, and told us to sleep in another room. And I think it may have been on that occasion or another occasion, she would always make sort of silly threats like, oh, now you've done it, now I'm going to get you. It was the way she told us just to sleep in another room, telling us where to sleep in our own home. And so my husband decided, without telling me, to go to the police. And he went to the police, and he was in tears, absolutely pleading with them to help. And they said they couldn't help us until we were actually attacked.
Not an everyday thing, is it?
My husband was all right for the first year or two, and then he started changing. I didn't know why he was changing. He was changing because he was on drugs. And when I found out about the drugs, he was denying it. I was proper against drugs myself, never knew nothing about drugs, didn't know nothing about crack cocaine or nothing. At first I thought if I take the drugs with him, I'll understand him. I'll be on the one level as him. I'll know where he's coming from. I know why he's so angry. I know why he's hiding. I know why he's hitting me. And I didn't know nothing. I thought that's what I'd know. Because he was keep giving it to me all the time, I got proper addicted to it. And it's just something that, honest to God, you do anything for it. You do anything for it. And it changed your way of thinking. It changed your way of your personality. Because when I'm not on drugs, I give anyone half my heart. And I do anything for anybody. When I'm on drugs, I'd still do anything for anybody, but I'd need me drugs. And if I can't get the money for the drugs, I will rob that person. I've robbed my mother, I've robbed my sisters, and in my right senses, I wouldn't have done that. When I was doing the burglaries, I pretended to be police, pretended to be social workers, pretended to be counsel, pretended to be everything and anything I could say. Just the minute the door opened, I pretended to be whatever I could, anything come out of my mouth. And what I don't understand is how I got in so easy, because I didn't look like anything. I didn't look like none of the people I was saying. I looked like a drug addict. And I didn't scare the people at the time. Didn't scare none of them. I sat down and chatted to them, and it was so devious and so bad to do that to people. And there's some people who in there and think, Jesus Christ, God help you. And some people will be telling me about that they're not well, and I'll be sitting there and I think, I'm chatting to them, and I'm really chatting to them from my heart. And I feel sorry for them and everything. But I know I need to take the purse or the handbag or just to get money for my drugs. I was a bad person when I was on drugs, but in my heart, no, I don't think I'm a bad person. I know I've done a lot of wrongs in my life. I've hurt mommy and my sisters. I've hurt victims by burgling them. But I'm not an evil person. I've never hit nobody. I've never hurted nobody in my life. I've never been violent to people when I was robbing them. I was being normal to them, but robbing them.
She once was a beauty with breeze in her hair. She was once a doctor and wine, but she'd rather be burned and thrown to the earth than lie with the men in her life. So carry her far from the family grave, scatter her ashes over the flame. She'd rather be blown to the ends of the earth than lie with her menfolk again. She'd rather be blown to the ends of the earth than lie with her menfolk again.
They complained about our little bit of daytime noise because that's obviously when they slept. And we became afraid to make any noise in our own house in the day. And that made it worse because we had these people, blasting this loud noise out all night. And we couldn't do anything. I was even afraid to get my own vacuum cleaner out in case the noise woke them up and they got angry and they attacked me. And I was afraid to, I didn't like going in and out of my own door, didn't like going in the garden. I felt so vulnerable. My memory was going and my concentration, and you begin to hallucinate and have flashbacks. It's like I was losing my grip on reality because of the sleep deprivation. It was quite normal to only have 3 or 4 hours sleep a night, and sometimes that was just their really loud television. It wasn't even music. You can only sleep when they let you. You can only hear your own television when they let you. You can only have any peace in your own home or garden when they let you. You can only open your windows on a hot day or night when they let you. They were totally in control. And you can't keep noise out. No locks will keep it out. It's there all the time.
The sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
I think the worst thing that could happen to a woman coming to prison is having children and losing them children. It's happened to me, and it's happened to the majority of women I've met in prison. A lot of the women in here end up self-harming. My self-harm, personally, I did it because I was losing my children and I didn't have no help, no support. I also wanted to torture myself, to punish myself for leaving my children.
Sleep, little chick, through stormy weather. Mommy flew off and lost her feather, but ever she's coming with corn in her beak. So sleep, little songbird, sleep. songbird sleep.
I tell him that I love him, and I'm sorry and I miss him, and I wouldn't know what to say to him, to tell you the truth. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be able to talk to him. I think I'd get bad with my nerves. I don't want him to forget me. You know what I mean? And I want him back. I want my children back. I want my children back. I want to see my children so much.
Soon I'll be climbing into the sky. Sleep, little songbird, close your eyes. Yon haunted hawks won't ever get me. Sleep, little songbird, don't forget me. Sleep, little songbird, mommy did wrong, but ever she's calling, singing her song, and ever you're dandled in mommy's nest, under mommy's wing, under mommy's breast.
I've got 3 girls. They got adopted when I went into prison, simple. 13 years ago. I get contact off one family. I felt safe that my kids were in a happy family home with 2 good people, and I really felt safe when I met them, and I thought, yeah, you know, just a mother's intuition that they're going to be all right and everything, and probably have a better life than what I could have given them anyway.
Sleep, little songbird, go to sleep. You will always be mommy's in mommy's dreams. Sleep, little songbird, go to sleep. Sleep, little songbird, sleep.
Scary Mary! I'm so very sorry that I threw my piss at you.
The early hours of the morning that it happened, the daughter put the music on in the bedroom next to ours. It was too loud for that time of night and it woke me up. I checked the time and I just thought, I'm going to do something about this. So I went out into the garden. We had a gravel path, just tiny bits of gravel, and I was just flicking them at the window. And in the end, one of the pebbles did crack the window. And then the daughter came to the window, and it seemed like 5 minutes or more of just constant abuse, threats. And then she went back in, and as she did, she called her mum. Nikki came running round to my door, shouting, and I suppose they were swearing. It was angry anyway. The daughter was behind her. I could see through the frosted glass. I mean, I did everything wrong, but I felt I had to confront them, because if I didn't, either they'd break their way in, or they'd just get me later. You know, it'd just be putting off the fear. So I had to open the door and confront them, and I just grabbed a knife and just went down the hall. But the children tell me I had it by my side with the blade facing down, and my husband tells me that's how I opened the door, because he said it didn't come up until she rushed at me. And as I opened the door, Nikki rushed at me, and the knife just came up. I picked it up to use as a deterrent, not to use, but obviously when you pick a weapon up, it can get used. And I mean, I didn't need a knife against an unarmed woman, did I? But she walked away, and I thought she was all right. She just walked down the path and turned left, and I thought she was going back into her house. but she collapsed in the street. But I didn't realise how badly I'd hurt her till afterwards.
And what had actually happened?
The knife had gone into her heart.
Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but our minds can free ourselves. Have no fear for it, I'm making a deal, and none of them can stop the times. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand beside and look? Some say it's just a part of it, we've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing? These songs of freedom is all I ever ask. Redemption song.
It was when I was in the police car, I heard over their radios them saying something about tell the family to expect the worst. And I thought, you know, I can't have hurt her that much. It didn't make sense. And then later on at the police station, they told me she'd died. And I just couldn't believe it. I still can't really. Because all my life, I mean, not only have I obeyed the law to the letter, I'd never hurt anyone. I don't even like hurting people's feelings. I've been thinking, you know, trying to protect people and help them. And I still can't believe it's happened. And now I've got to live with that for the rest of my life. And I can't put it right, and I can't give her back to her family.
Did you say what time he was going to be here?
So if I show you that now, can I then put it in my bag, yeah?
Okay, thank you. Could you tell me your prison number?
KV010. I've cried more for her family than I have for my own. And I can go home to mine, but she can't go home to hers. I do think about them all the time. When I walk out of prison, I'll be walking out of the, you know, physical barriers, but I'll be in prison for the rest of my life.
When I first come in, I had nightmares that I was outside and I couldn't find my way back in. That's how much I needed to be. But yeah, I'm glad. And I think I'm sort of ready. I'm nervous for going out, but I'm sort of ready to go.
Cheers, mate.
Before I came to prison, I was a mess. Just emotionally, I didn't like to go out on the street on my own. I didn't. You know, it really mentally fucked my head up. And I had to take loads of medications, and I'm just afraid that I'll get out there and I'll have a panic attack, or I can't get out, or I don't know. No, that it'll all come back, which I hope it don't.
I think when we are in prison, we need to do the best of the worst. You know? So, like I said, you know, some people said, but how you cope? I just said, look, I'm alive, I'm not dead. They stopped me for a while to go out and they stopped my freedom, but physically. Inside, I'm free. And nobody can take that off me. And nobody can. The only one who will be able to do it is this one. And until that, I'm free.
I think prison, in a way, has made me open my eyes and say, look, Claire, stop being a fucking idiot and look around and see what you're doing to yourself. Do you know what I mean? Every day drinking, it weren't good. I think in a way it saved me. I've had a chance to sort of sit down and look at reality and get myself an education, sort myself out, and then when I get out, I'm going to be 25 when I get out, do you know what I mean? 2.5 years sitting in Nick, it's like a lot of time to think.
They treat you like proper civil human beings in this prison, and that's why I am an enhanced prisoner, top of the level of behaviour. Good girl, here. I would never abuse any of our staff here, like I abuse the staff in other prisons.
Do you think you'll be coming back here?
To prison? Not unless I don't like it on the act and I come back intentionally.
Can you do that?
Could I do that?
What would you do?
Go and shoot a couple of perverts. Stab a couple of perverts, whatever. Could I do that? Yes. No problem.